So Jimmy Kimmel, let's talk about Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's been calling out Senator Bill Cassidy over his plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. Cassidy says Jimmy just doesn't get it. See what you think. Take a look.
I'm sorry he does not understand. Under Graham, Cassidy, Heller, Johnson, more people will have coverage, and we protect those with pre-existing conditions.
Which part don't I understand? Is it the part where you cut $243 billion from federal health care assistance? Am I not understanding the part where states would be allowed to let insurance companies price you out of coverage for having pre-existing conditions? Or maybe it was the part where the plans are no longer required to pay for essential health benefits like maternity care or pediatric visits?
Oh.
So
he seems to understand a lot.
He seems to get it, yeah.
I think so. So Senator Lindsey Graham and even the new guy in the White House claim nobody's going to lose health care coverage.
They're lying.
So who's telling the truth?
There are certain things you can't leave to the states. I understand a lot of people that feel like maybe more conservative people say, you know, you got to leave it to the states, you got to let it be an open market where insurance companies compete, but you have to protect the most vulnerable among us, and you cannot leave that up to the states. The fact that maternity care is up for debate, the fact that a child born with a heart defect could not, if his family could not afford that. I get if they want to leave some things, as much as that bothers me, but to me, again, mental health is very personal to me. The idea that you leave that to a state to decide, and when you look at our representatives in these states, they don't always represent or look like the rest of us.
Exactly.
So it's hard to put that faith in their hands.
Well, you know what I always do when these bills come out? I try to look at the expert associations. And so I looked up what the American Medical Association had to say. Get this. They say they are opposing the Graham-Cassidy health care bill because it violates first do no harm. This is from the American Medical Association. They said it would result in millions of Americans losing their health insurance coverage, destabilize health insurance markets, and decrease access to affordable coverage and care. And then I looked at the Children's Hospital Association. They've come out against it. They say that 30 million children will lose health care because they will lose Medicaid. So I'm thinking, do I believe the guy in the White House and these senators, or do I believe the doctors at the American Medical Association or the Children's Hospital?
That's right.
And that's who I believe.
And so I think, you know, listen, if you have an issue with this, call your people, call your senators, and tell them.
Call them a lot.
Call them, you know, and say, hey, listen, man, we all understand the bill's not perfect. No bill, Obamacare wasn't perfect. None of these bills are perfect. Let's try to fix the things that don't work and leave the things that do. So we have that. That is in our power. You can call and say, don't shift this. You know?
Just to get out on a lighter note, they really should be careful about screwing around with Jimmy Kimmel. Because, for example, this struck me funny. Chris Christie, he says he's not in favor of this bill, but he added, I'm not going to get into Jimmy Kimmel. He's not a serious person.
Oh.
That's a put down of a comedian, which I don't approve of or appreciate. So Jimmy said, I'm not a serious person. I never got my head stuck in a bucket of fried chicken, okay? Just saying, as Melania says about her husband, when you hit him, he hits back harder. Watch out for comedians.
We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.